Lesbians are getting divorced at an alarming rate. I was one of them. Are we just wired that way? Yes. Yes, women are just wired that way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Just kidding, of course. All joking aside. I haven't read this article yet. I think I did actually read this article years ago because it is an old article now. It's like 6 years old now. Almost 6 years old. But no, women monkey branch. That's what women do. This whole notion that men are the ones who want to get out of a marriage is not true. Men do want to take care of women, be with women and all that stuff, but people get divorced for different reasons. Let's take a look at this. It's not a man's fault is what I'm going to call this video. So let's just go ahead and dive into what this article is about. Now, before we do, I wanted to mention to you, if you're not watching my videos to the end, I'm putting little palate cleansers. I've been putting little palate cleansers at the end of each one of my videos lately. Something that you'll find interesting, I guess. Something that's going to be like fun and less serious than what I usually talk about in my main video. But so stick around to the end to check that out because it's different every single time. I got engaged when I was 25. I had been dating my girlfriend for less than a year and we already lived together. The proposal surprised me. I didn't know what else to say but yes, because that's just what you're supposed to say, right? No, you can say no. Let me tell you, when I proposed to my wife, I knew that she wanted me to propose to her, that she was going to say yes. And I was taking a gamble. Why was I taking a gamble? Because she was a foreigner, right? She didn't have residency. She didn't have a green card even. So was it the case that she was going to marry me just to get that green card? Well, hey, if that's the case, we've been together for almost a decade now, so she screwed that up. Then suddenly, everyone was asking when the wedding was, and I was married by 27 legally in Iowa, one of the few states that allowed same-sex marriage at the time. Maybe 27 seems like a totally normal age to get married. My mom had me at 27, but considering I'd essentially rushed into it, it wasn't ideal for me. And so, unsurprisingly, it ended in divorce. You can rush into a marriage and have it last for decades, for your whole life. When you meet the right person, it's just the right person. A new study from the United Kingdom Office of National Statistics suggests I was something of a trendsetter. Oh, you were a trendsetter because you were one of the first people to engage in gay marriage in the United States and successfully ended that marriage, just like millions of people before you, except they were heterosexual instead of homosexual. Marriage equality came to the UK in March of 2014. 3 months later, there were 1,409 same-sex marriages, 56% of which were women. By 2015, 22 of those couples broke up, but in 2016, the number of divorces leaped to 112, more than 3/4 of which 87% were lesbian couples. Well, imagine that. So we all know that women seek out divorce more than men do. I've seen statistics anywhere from 60 to 80%. So people will just average that and say 70%. I think it's probably closer to 60%, but still that's more than half. And it's typically because of infidelity. But that doesn't mean that that's the only reason why people get divorced. Even before same-sex marriage came to Britain, lesbian couples were nearly twice as likely as gay men to end a civil partnership. Of the 794 partnerships dissolved in 2012, almost 60% were by female couples. Yeah. Is it because these women are cheating? Because there's this thing called lesbian bed death. Lesbian bed death, a term used to describe the phenomenon of when sexual relationships between a lesbian couple have virtually ceased, yet the companionship remains. So women seem to be comfortable existing in this situation of low sex, no sex. Men are not comfortable with that situation typically. Most of the time, men do not want to have a sexless or low sex relationship. That's one of the primary reasons why men get into relationships, if not the primary reason. Gunnar Andersson, professor of demography at Stockholm University, found the same trend in a 2013 study of civil partnerships in Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Queer women were twice as likely to dissolve their same-sex partnerships as men. This reflects trends in a heterosexual marriage because women are more prone to say they want to marry, but they're also more likely to initiate a divorce, he told The Independent. Women usually have higher demands on relationship quality. That's been shown in studies. Even if you control for age, there is still a trend for more women ending partnerships than men. There you go. Just what I just said. Why do women expect the relationship to be so much more than what it actually is? I don't know why. I'm not a woman, but I have my speculations. I admit I had high expectations for my marriage, the author of this article says. But I wasn't the little girl who dreamed of a white dress and big formal wedding. I actually didn't even really fantasize about being someone's wife. But didn't I, a feminist lesbian who doesn't subscribe to society's expectations of what a woman should be, want to be wanted? We all want to fit in. We all want to be desired. We all want to feel like we are important to the people around us. This is part of evolutionary survival, right? Human beings evolved to exist in a pride, a tribe, a group, a herd, whatever you want to call it. There's strength in numbers, safety in numbers. Not all animals operate this way, but this is the truth for everybody. You know, if you're around other people, you can't be singled out as the prey victim as easily, and you are more likely to get resources that you need to help you survive because there's more people working on getting those resources and sharing them with everyone. I'm secure enough now, anyway, to admit that could have been a part of why I said I do. The idea of marriage was romantic, but the reality, not so much. And at 25 or 26 or 27, I didn't realize how much work goes into being someone's spouse. By the time I did, my desire to want it to be the right situation was overshadowed by the honest fact that it just wasn't. So are you saying that women are lazy? That seems to be what the author is saying here. Relationships are work. They are, no matter how you slice it. Relationships take energy and effort. So if you're not willing to put in that energy, that effort, then it's not going to work. My ex-wife was, and probably still is, fantastic. She was a dream for anyone who wants to settle down, which I thought I did. Our newfound freedom to marry gave us a new dream to aspire to, but we didn't take the time to decide if it was the right dream for us. My wife was significantly older than me. She achieved some measure of the American dream, a successful career, a house, and that likely fueled her desire to tie the knot too. Sounds like she has a lot of masculine qualities that you desire in a woman. That's strange. It's almost as if this sort of lifestyle is made up. What is this whole, we need to be legally married bullcrap? Homosexual people have been partnering monogamously for lifetime relationships for centuries. There's nothing new. You don't need the government to tax you on it or to give you a tax break or whatever the benefits are of actually being legally married. And you might be saying, anti-woke warrior, you're married. You just admitted that you proposed to your wife a few minutes ago. What a hypocrite of you. The reason I proposed to my wife was because she was the best woman I'd ever met in my entire life, and she wasn't legally allowed to stay in the country. She'd stayed past her visa. So I figured I better lock this down, or else I'm going to be moving to her country to stay with her. I had actual staying overnight, several nights in the hospital, surgery, and she was there every night with me. She was there every day with me. And it's like, this is the person that is going to be with me through thick and thin. So she is going to be my permanent girl. In 2011, Williams Institute study found that 134,000 same-sex couples in the U.S., about 21%, were legally bound in some way. Of them, 62% were women, even though women make up just 51% of same-sex relationships. That's weird. I mean, because there's supposed to be fewer women who are full-bore lesbians than there are men who are full-bore gay. So it's weird that 51% of those relationships would consist of female-female, consist of women. But I mean, this I think points to the fact that women are looking more for a long-term relationship than men are. This is one of the reasons, anthropologically speaking, that homosexuality is frowned upon, because you can engage in a sexual relationship, a different one, every single day with a different person every single day, and it has no meaning, and you can just have sex all day long and do nothing productive with your time, which is what I've heard anthropologists say is why homosexuality has been frowned upon over the years. One of the reasons, anyway. Consequence-free pleasure. Can you just overindulge in it? Homosexual men seem to look for more than what homosexual women are looking for. It's just meaningless encounters. 3 years later, that percentage rose to 64%. So it went from 51% to 64% between 2011 and 2014 of women involved in same-sex relationships, or not of women, but of the number of people involved in long-term same-sex relationships they were women. 64% of them were women. In Massachusetts alone, the first state to recognize the freedom to marry, 75% of gay couples tying the knot were female. It's not hard to connect the dots. More marriage means more divorces. So why are ladies so hasty to say yes to the best? Maybe we're rushing into marriage because it's finally available to us. But a queer woman, it might be because we are wired that way. The lesbian love addiction, Lauren D. Costin suggests, women find comfort in relationships because once we find a connection, we feel a rush of dopamine and oxytocin. Literally all the feels. Men don't emit oxytocin in the same way, Costin told Psych Central. Therefore, when two women get together, the oxyfest is beyond intoxicating. The problem, of course, is what happens when that chemical rush wears off. There's not yet good data on the same-sex divorce and dissolution rate post-Oberfeld versus Hodges, at least not by gender. The Williams Institute study did find that in the 19 states that granted same-sex and legal recognition to gay couples between 1997 and 2011, the rate of same-sex splits was actually slightly lower for same-sex couples than heterosexuals, 1.1% on average compared to 2%. And I've heard this before. I heard this before, that same-sex couples tend to have less breakups than heterosexual couples. And I've heard psychologists say that it's because homosexuals are more likely to be on the same page than heterosexuals are. Divorce is never fun, take it from me, but it's less inevitable if we enter into marriage with partners who are really right for us and whom we're really right for. We owe it to ourselves to put in the work or even make peace with singlehood so we can stop aligning the pockets of divorce attorneys. Yeah, I mean, I was much older when I got married than most people. And so I was kind of already at a point of, this is for life. We're going to be mature. We're going to treat each other the way that we need to be to have a long-term relationship. It's not, don't let your emotions get involved. Be stoic. And men know this. This is a message on the channel all the time. But this here is pointing to the fact that women are more likely to get divorced than men. And that's what I wanted to point out. Women initiate more divorce. Men are the ones who are vilified in our civilization.
And now the Estrogen Network presents Afternoon Yak.
Man.
So this is The Real, I think? I don't know. Girl Chat. Whatever. And we're going to take a look at this because it's just hilarious.
Well, if the reason you're single is because you left a man who was cheating on you, one doctor thinks that you may actually have yourself to blame. Okay, Refinery 29 recently wrote an article that discussed why the woman sometimes gets blamed when their man cheats on them. Psychologists...
Nearly every single time a man cheats on his long-term partner, it's going to be because of the woman, right? We know this, that when, according to the woke, when a man cheats, it's because he's just a dog and he cheats. And when a woman cheats, it's because a man drove her to cheat. No. When a man cheats, almost every single time a man cheats, is because he's not getting his physical needs met at home. Women should be on that D all the time, as much as she possibly can be, keep her man happy and satisfied, or else he's going to go find it from somebody else. That's the vast majority of male infidelity is because of that. And I say that without having any studies to back that up because it's just the truth. Men will cheat for other reasons, yes, but it's primarily because they want more bedroom action.
Just Andrea Bonnier said, because women are often seen as the keepers of a relationship and that there's a belief that it's a woman's job to keep her man happy. Ladies, process that for a second. Do you think it's a woman's responsibility to keep her man happy so that he doesn't cheat on her? No.
Yes, and they're going to say no, of course. But it's a matter of what she means by happy. Do you mean satisfied in the bedroom? Yes, that's what you need to do.
No. I think people don't realize that cheating goes so much deeper than sexual satisfaction.
Yes.
No, it doesn't. Not for men. Very, very few men will cheat for reasons other than sexual satisfaction. Other than sex. Let's just put it that way. Because some men cheat for variety and they have the opportunity. But most men don't have the opportunity, so...
If you really look, most people don't cheat just because they want to, just because they want to have sex. Is usually that they feel they're missing something. And that doesn't always mean they're missing something from their partner. Maybe they're missing something within themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
There are men out here that have this mentality. I'm not saying all. Again, these are certain men that cheat sometimes because they think that's what a man's supposed to do.
Not in the United States culture. That might be in her culture because I don't think she looks like she's Anglo-Saxon. But she's looking at this from a very female-centric point of view. Yeah, women cheat because they're missing something. They feel like they're missing something. It's an emotional thing for women to go out and have an affair, whereas for men, it's just a physical thing.
There's actually some people that have been taught by other men in their family that if you're a man, you get out there and you have sex with different women. That's what they believe. There are other men that are looking for companionship.
Nope, that's not true. Men who cheat are not looking for companionship, unless their wife is in a coma or something.
There are other men that maybe feel lonely. There's so many different reasons.
Of course.
And I just think that I love this saying. I once heard this, and it was, find me the most beautiful woman, the most talented,
Yes,
the
I
most
know where you're
successful, the sexiest, the dopest body, the most success. She has money, and I will show you a man that doesn't want her.
Yes, if she's a evil woman, men aren't going to want to be with her. And she mentioned money, and men don't care about your money. Are you nice? If you're not nice, your level of attractiveness is basically zero. If you're a woman, doesn't matter how hot you are. You could be the hottest woman in the world. Who's the hottest woman right now in the world? I don't know, but I mean, what we think. What's her name? Gal Gadot, probably. Yeah. If she's a mean person, if she's just a cruel, evil woman, then nobody's going to want to be with her. It doesn't matter how hot she is.
No.
And when I say that, what I'm saying is there will be a man out there that we view as a perfect, there's a woman out there that we view as perfect, and I can assure you there was a man that may have done her wrong, which we've seen that. Your Halle Berry's. You would say, why would anyone ever cheat on Halle Berry? She's beautiful. She's perfect.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't giving it up enough. That's why. Same thing happened with Courtney Cox, right? From Friends, Fame. I guess her husband cheated on her. Well, was she giving him what he needed in the bedroom? Now, when you're marrying an actor, he's going to have opportunity. Even a fugly actor, because he has the money and the clout to back it up. You know, so women are going to be like, oh, I want to be with him, even though he might not be anything special to look at.
But maybe there was something wrong with him.
But what I don't like is that they're always trying to put the blame on somebody else.
That's what I'm saying.
They're
It's
trying to
within
put the blame on the
themselves.
women,
It's
on the
their
woman,
problem.
and then it makes women. Well, maybe it is me. Maybe I didn't do. No, boo. It was just him. Okay, it ain't got nothing to do with you. It was him.
Yeah.
You know, I'm telling you again, it boils down to if a man is in a good relationship but that he doesn't want to lose, but he's not getting what he needs, he'll go find it somewhere else and keep the relationship.
Yes.
What I don't understand is that sometimes men actually get a pass if they cheat. It's like,
Let
you
'em
know
know.
what? Men, they're just men.
They know how to control themselves.
they have a defect. You know, they just can't be in a monogamous relationship. No, 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 no.
All that to say, men are not the only ones that cheat.
Yeah, and women never get a pass on their bad behavior at all. Women get more passes for their bad behavior than men ever have. I'm not saying that it's okay for either gender to get a pass on their bad behavior, but it's much more common for a woman to get a pass on her bad behavior than a man. Now, without all that being said, I do want to thank everybody for stopping by and supporting my channel. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed. And I wanted to point out that things are getting so bad in society lately that even male animals are trying to end themselves.
Come here. Come here.